All right, so we got some things just to kind of get done around the shop today. And I figured we'd just sort of take you guys along for the ride because that's how we get work done. And you guys haven't seen any sort of a shop vlog in a while. Pegboard's been painted now for like a week. Now we'll finally put some pegs in it. So now, see, the idea here is we're like, wait, we need a graphics card for this build. Aw, did I scratch the pegboard? I did. Just scratched the pegboard. You piece of crap! That's okay. A scratched pegboard is a pegboard. Some of the things we're gonna do today is get the pegboard finally kind of set up. We've got an alarm system we're gonna install in here today. All right, so we're gonna hang this guy next. Ugh. I do want to honestly do like a wall-mounted test rig, and all it needs is hookups for graphics cards, and that's about it. Usually it's all we use a test bench for. So this is the motherboard that we first beat Steve with, so it's got a bit of sentimental value. I like how it's like, motherboard, Windex, glue gun, staple gun. It's like there's no rhyme or reason, and you can tell how I like went over the test rig. I'm just not good at this stuff. So some other stuff we've got that we're gonna be working on, probably not in this video, but as you can see, this is the Inman 928.
And it is.
So do you remember how I was explaining that the problem with the finish on this anodized is that it's way too textured? How fingernails do that? And that's not a scratch, that's fingernail dust, see? Like, it's like sandpaper, basically. And I hate this. So we will be painting this. This is why it's completely torn down and disassembled. What I wanna do now though, is I wanna look at this wall, because this side of the studio still is why there's so much echo in this place, because we've got all of this done-ish. And as you can see, I built out a frame for the next wall, and I went, you know what? We've got a pretty good thing going here between the home office set and the shop. But what I'm thinking is I might go ahead and build out a set, and instead of having different like an area for the shelves, I'll just do like our current set in the sense of using them as a backdrop with all the product, because that's a good backdrop as well. But not like the studio is now. I know I said I was gonna recreate the old studio here, not that concept. Okay, go ahead and put that down and help me. So one of the reasons why this ended up taking so long is because, like anything else, once you become up and functional, the urgency of getting something done obviously takes a backseat to working. So this is where, so what we did off camera, because I needed Phil's help, was we backstrapped this down. We've got these boards on here sort of counterweighting it, and this wall is solid, it ain't going nowhere. The amount of space we have over here is huge. I mean, this is 24 feet long right here. What we're trying to decide is for Phil's like B-rolly area that he wants to do, over there that probably won't work, because we still need an area for intake. Everything you see on these shelves over here, we've received since moving here. I want to reiterate, we have not moved over a single piece of product from the other studio. Everything that you guys have seen in the background of that studio has been sitting there this entire time. Now, that's not a complaint. That's just showing you that's the nature of the beast when you deal with when you're a product channel. I still think we're going to use product shelves in the background because it'll double as storage as well as a nice techie backdrop. Because all I kind of want is that stuff as a backdrop with another like standing table or standing desk here to be able to do the unboxings and some of the talking heads and stuff that we just don't feel like shooting over there in the home office, which would leave the shop available for custom builds and stuff. And then we could still do small projects over here, even small, like standard computer builds that don't require a shop like that could be done right here, which leaves plenty of room over here for Phil to get his thing. But then Jay, what about over here? This would be intake. We need a place to stage things when they come in to decide what we're gonna use, what we're sending back, projects that are waiting to be worked on that don't have room for over there yet. We need a place for all that. I also want some sort of like a green room area with like maybe a lounge chair, a table, chairs, like a little small conference table where we have our meetings and stuff. I know most of the people think it's just Phil and I. There are more people in this team that are behind the scenes that you guys don't see. So sometimes we get together, we have production meetings, we have planning meetings. We sit at folding tables right now because we still haven't even done the office yet. And one of the reasons for that is what we're seriously lacking in this place right now versus the other place is any sort of security system. So today we're gonna go ahead and install one. All right, so I'm gonna be installing a SimpliSafe system today and checking it out. This was sponsored by SimpliSafe. Obviously with the amount of product and the value of stuff we have in here, our cameras, our computers, all the product and stuff, we wanna keep it as secure as possible and at least know what's going on here. And the whole importance behind a security system is having complete access when you're away from your space to know what's happening in your space. So they sent us here their Simply Cam. So this is one of their cameras that you can set up wherever you want, and I'll figure out where I want to do that. Because we kind of have two zones we want to protect here, the studio as well as like the office space. But at the same time, I don't want to get a bunch of false positives and have motion sensors going off because of people walking past the front, which is all glass, and shadow movement setting off alarms. I don't want to deal with that. So there's probably going to be some tweaking involved, but we'll figure that out. We've got a smoke detector here, which is good, our keypad, and a bunch of our sensors. We've also got glass break, which is a big one for us because the front of our studio is basically all glass. And then we've got motion sensors and stuff so that as my daughter comes running into the set, I would have known that before she came in. Do you see why we need one? We think we want to monitor the studio with video. We kind of believe if someone were to break into this space, they would try and do it through the alley because the front is facing a public street that's very visible. And so we think the alley would be where someone would try and come in. So I think I want to keep an eye on this space via the camera. The other thing too, though, is fortunately I talked about kind of redundancy with multiple alarm systems. Like I said, there's going to be other supplemental systems in here to complement this. The building itself also has its own security system that's monitored by the building owner. And after certain hours, all movement's triggered, and he gets all the notifications and he checks that stuff every night. He sends us texts and stuff sometimes if we're here late, like, hey, you guys working late? It's like, yeah, that's us. Okay, just checking, you know, because he wants to make sure like the place is safe. It's his building, he cares about it. So the alleyway has its own CCTVs as well. So we've got a lot of angles covered in this place. But we gotta figure out where the base station and the keypad are gonna go. So let's go ahead and start there. All right, so it's got double-sided tape on the back to make it easy for installation. I'm going to go ahead and remove the stickies that are on here, and I'm gonna screw it to the wall. There. I'm trying to see how much play this door has. I think based on how strong the magnet is for the door sensor. Whoa, when did this open? I thought this was always locked.
It's always open. We just always use the right door.
You mean left?
Or, well, right when you're coming in, left.
The correct door? This door, the main glass door, and that door. We're not gonna put one on the roll-up door because the only way you'd be able to get through that door is cut through it. Not like I'm giving you any ideas, but because there's a chain that's literally chained to the wall, you cannot roll that door up from the outside. So I'm gonna put the big one here, and then I can put the small one right above it. I was actually worried about this molding being too big of a gap between there. Yeah, so that magnetic field is plenty strong. So we'll do the same thing back here. Dude, that is, if you wondered how like tight that adhesive is, that is so close. It's not hitting it, but if I need to relocate it, that's why they're wireless. So regarding the smoke detector, we kind of feel like out here by the set with all the electrical that I did is where this makes most sense. Here's the part that's a little bit complicated with smoke alarms, is you want the smoke detector to be up high because that's where the smoke goes. Our ceilings are very high. So I'm gonna need to put it to like the top up there just to have a chance of this like, you know, capturing the smoke early enough. I can't reach all the way to the top.
Jay can't reach something? What?
Dude, it's 10 feet tall.
I don't know, that's how tall you look like to me, man. Everyone looks 10 feet tall.
And I'm on my tippy toes on this chair.
This is so safe.
I don't think this extra 10 inches up here, I don't think that's gonna make a difference, but it's better to have that than nothing out here at all. I don't know if you noticed earlier, there's like an indentation. You want that to be the side that faces the light. There we go. Jay can stick things up.
Jesus, camera cut.
This is gonna be the trickiest part regarding doing an alarm system is proper setup of the camera, and here's why. Depending on where you live, there may be ordinances and or permits required for an alarm system. And in the particular alarm or location where my alarm is, and I mean the city, the police will not show up unless there's a visual verification. We already know that we're not gonna be able to verify with one camera the entire building. So adding another camera to this setup would definitely be ideal, and we're looking to doing that. So we have the front covered and the warehouse. Because we're always worried that we're gonna miss an important delivery because we're out here filming and we don't hear it.
Or that one time where we got a delivery and we didn't hear it, and the guy literally walked all the way.
Yeah, we were filming and we walked over here and there was a box sitting right here. We were in this room and we never heard the delivery guy come in, put it down and leave. He probably was like, oh crap, they're filming something. So the thing that's nice with this camera is it has an IR ring light, so it can film in total darkness, and it has a motion sensor. So what I'm gonna do right now, it's not the prettiest, but it will get me by. I'm gonna end up making a much prettier wall channel to go up this. You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy those strips that will block out the cable as it looks prettier going up. I'm just gonna run this extension cord to the ceiling up here on top of our drop ceiling, and then this is what our camera will plug into because I really want it to be on top of that door right there. So that's everything we're gonna be installing. Now we've got to set it up, but they also gave us a couple of key fobs which can go on your key ring to allow you to wirelessly arm and disarm your alarm rather than having to go to the keypad and all that. The other thing we have here is a water sensor. This is perfect for home if you want to keep an eye on things that could potentially overflow. You can stick one of these everywhere there's a water appliance. I recently in my new home experienced that very thing. I came home from vacation and was like, what's that water dripping from the wall? And I touched the pipe and it exploded in my face. That was a broken pipe due to the recent earthquakes we had. So fortunately, it didn't cause us any damage, but had it been inside the house and not my garage, this would have at least alerted us and I could have called someone to go to the house, please, and secure it. So now we have to do, oh, and they also give us a panic button here, which you could put under a counter or under your desk or something like that. And then basically you push this and it sends a panic to the monitoring service. Okay, so we've got everything hooked up. We've got two motion sensors, one in the office, one in the studio. We've got the door sensor and the glass break sensor here in the front. Out in the studio, we've got, of course, on the people door in the back, we've got a door sensor and we've got a camera out there as well. We also have the doorbell camera that we're gonna figure out where we're gonna put. That needs power run to it, so we're not ready to install that today. But what I wanted to test here, I've got this little remote. This little remote runs on the same frequency as the system. And this is what freaks a lot of people out when it comes to wireless systems is there's some videos out there on the internet saying, well, all you gotta do is get one of these remotes and push the button and you can check it out. You can make the system not work. Because the idea is that these put off a more powerful signal than the actual sensors do, and that you can override it by making the system think these are still activated by just holding down the button and then opening a door. So we're gonna test that right now. This is going into the office, and our base station is over there on top of our Sparklets bottle. It's not gonna stay there permanently, I mean. So the idea here is that we could then open this up, and it wouldn't be able to know that the door was open. And just to show you it works. So there it is right there. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and rearm it, and it is notifying me on my Apple Watch too every time we do something, which is a nice feature of this. So I always know when something's happening here, or when Phil comes in after hours and tries to borrow monitors and stuff. That's besides the point.
LAN party, that's a pretty high priority.
So here's the idea. Will this work? Oh, the light turned there. See? What if I do it fast? I had to try it, right? Now I asked Simply Safe straight up about this. I said, look, this is making the rounds. People are talking. What's the deal? Because I'm not gonna put this in my studio if this is something that can easily be overcome by ordering this off Amazon for $5. Yeah, I paid not the $2 that's, I guess, been suggested you could pay. I paid $5 for the nicer looking one. And they were like, look, our engineers are aware of this. This is an inherent issue that could be with any wireless system, but the difference when it comes to keeping it secure is the fact that there's constant firmware updates, algorithm changes, and the system is always being adapted to these types of circumventive measures, which keeps it secure. So I don't know if something changed between then and now and the way that this all works and the firmware updates and all that sort of stuff. But as you can see, at least I cannot get past these sensors with the remote. Now we do also have the camera, like I said, set up in there, and I can kind of show you that right now. We can see a live with audio of what's happening out there in the studio. So I can keep an eye on Phil when I'm out doing things, making sure he's working, doing his thing. I guess I need to put one in the office too, so I can see when he's playing games and stuff. So we can also manually hit record if we want to, or we can actually have a two-way communication, but our air conditioner is kind of loud. I don't think the two-way communication would work very well, but you can see the nice wide angle. We can see all the way out to the people door. Now motion sensors are tricky. They're based off of IR and a bunch of other stuff that I don't truly understand, but they are not necessarily the most reliable, which is why they should be used in places to complement an existing system, which is why we put that fourth button or sensor here. That way we could at least control the entry point, and then we could put a glass sensor on that window if someone wants to break through the glass. I don't think anyone's coming through that glass. It faces a very public street. No one's gonna shatter that glass and climb through without getting noticed. But can I get through here without getting noticed?
Front door. Motion.
This is where I got I got right here. I didn't get to anything, well, car keys, but remember, I had to get through two more sensors to get in here. So there's that at least. All right, so we've got one out in the studio as well.
Motion sensor.
I got right here. So again, that's complementary to a system that's already in here. That's what we got done today. We're gonna add another siren to this so that it's even louder. I want to add another camera out here, another camera in the front to go along with our other systems that we have to keep this place secure. So at least recap today, we got the pegboard with some pegs on it and some tools. We got this wall here to kind of give us a visual idea of where the separation is gonna be for these sets. And then we got our security system in here. And because of the security system being in here now means we've got to move over the inventory. That was literally one of the things I've been waiting on, is like moving over a lot of money worth of inventory into this place and having it not have a security system. That was a big concern. So anyway, a huge thank you to SimpliSafe for sending us this unit to take a look at. If you guys want to learn more about the system, you guys can use the link down in the description below. There'll be a link to go and check out all their stuff. It's purely expandable. You saw an idiot like me is able to install it, troubleshoot it, make changes to it, and get it all set up without any sort of a problem. And if I can do it, yeah, obviously you guys can. So we're gonna get out of here, guys. Check out the link in the description below. And as always, we will see you in the next one.